Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the SWR Darts Coaching Podcast with me, Sean, a qualified and accredited darts coach. I'm a JDC Level 1 darts coach and a SiteRight accredited darts coach. In the last episode, episode 10, we spoke with Brian Ivey from Poison Ivy Darts, and he gave us an insight into his coaching, his pathway into darts coaching, and gave us a little bit of an insight as well into his sessions and how he goes and plans his darts coaching sessions. And I thought it was an absolute fantastic listen, and I hope everyone else did that. Listened to the podcast. It was really well received. Had some good feedback as well on it, which was fantastic to get. This is exactly what we were hoping to get from it. That was superb to have in that episode. So it's been a while since I've been on. It's been a while since I've done anything really, to be honest. I've not been too well of recent. I've had a little bit of the lurgy that was going round. I've also had other things away from the dartboard with my football team that I follow, having a good end to the season, so it's still going strong there. But obviously I wanted to get back into recording these podcasts once a month. And two topics really I've picked for today. And the first one is, what does it mean to make a good darts practice? Or what makes a good darts practice? And I think this is something that's key for me to talk about really. Because I'm massive on the darts practice front, which I've said many a time. I talk about this all the time. Darts is more than just the 501. It is about darts practice and structured darts practice. Now, when I first started out as a darts coach, I would talk about structured darts practice, and a lot of people would go, "Nah, I'm not too sure about that." Playing the algorithms, playing the bots, playing games of 501 down the pub with your mates, playing in leagues. That's how you practice. And what I've noticed recently is there's been a bit of a shift, and I'm going to talk about people on social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter a little bit, but more the TikTok side of things, where people are now looking at it and going, actually, playing like the JDC is really good for you. It's really good for your game. Well, yeah, we've been saying that for years. Playing games like Harvey's really helped me move around the board. Yeah, we've been saying that for years. So, is it now getting to a stage whereby the people that were mocking what I was saying and other coaches were saying are now looking at this and going, hold on, they're right. We need to make sure that when we go to that practice board, we are getting as full structure in our practice time as we can get. Now, when people come down here, I always say to them, you've got 45 minutes in a room, just you, an hockey, dartboard, a light. What are you practicing? What are you doing for that 45 minutes with no distractions? And it's commonly, I'll go round the board on the singles, I'll go round the board on the doubles, and then I'll probably play a bit of 1-2-1, and then I'll finish with a couple of games of 501. That sounds okay, but I want more structure out of that. So set some targets while we're in that structure. That's what you want to do, that's fine. But let's set some structure. So let's say we're going around the board on the doubles. Do it for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, if you haven't got all the way round on the doubles, sign it off for the day. Set where you've got to. Go again the next time. Use a darting journal, as I call it. So a darting journal to me is just a book that I keep that tracks my scores. So those who have purchased the practice schedules off my website, you'll know what I'm on about here. It's a way of you keeping track of your scores. So that's what we do around the board on the doubles. Okay. We're then going to play a game of 1-2-1. Well, how are you playing your 1-2-1, and how long are you playing 1-2-1 for? So, what's the structure of your 1-2-1? That would be my first question I'd like to ask. But then, are you going to just keep going until you get to a certain number? Are you going to keep doing it until you get to the 170? You might be a player that's not capable of going from 121 to 170 at the moment. So again, set a time limit, set a structure. This is darts structure. This is practice structure to me. Okay, so I had a guy came in way back, because I've not been down for a few weeks. But he came down to me, and I was talking to him about practice, and I said, "What do you practice?" And he says, "I play 501." I said, "Right, do we do any of these games?" And I talked to him through the 120 and the JDC and stuff. And he went, "Oh, no, I just find them incredibly boring." I was like, "How do you find them incredibly boring? I don't quite get it." He was like, "Well, I just want to play darts." He says, "I want to play 501. He says, "That's the game we play in the pub. That's the game I play in the league. If I go to a tournament, that's the game I'm playing. So I want to get myself mentally prepared to play that game." He says, "And by doing these games that he said I've seen you advertise, I don't think I'm going to get anything from it." To which I replied with, "Well, yeah, your game's going to get a lot more from it. I guarantee your game will get a lot more from it." But he was very reluctant to try that. So I talked about a 501, and he was like, "How can I make it any different?" He says, "I can't." He says, "Unless I change the score for 301, 701, 1001. I was like, "Well, yes, you can." I said, "Let's play a game whereby if you haven't got down to a certain score after 18 darts, you lose the leg." I said, "Let's play whereby we can do points wise as well. So we can play 10 legs. Each leg's worth so many points, but you've got to get to a certain target to get the points." And we did this, and he was like, "Wow, this is really good." And he went away, he took my practice schedules with him, and a bespoke sort of schedule that I'd done for him as well. He went away, and I spoke to him probably a fortnight after. And he was like, "I'm loving practicing at home." I was like, "That's great to hear." So creating structure within your practice will give you that little bit more love for the game, I feel, as well. So just taking a look at my practice schedule, I'm looking at practice schedule number 3 here, version 3. And we start out, there's a couple of warm-up games in there. But for those who've not got it, the first game is target attack. So in this game, we're using 4 different numbers. So in this game, it's 20, 19, 15 and 10. All right. So for this game, you have targets, which are them, 20, 19, 15 and 10. And you need to hit 2 out of 3 darts on each large section of the number on your visit. And the trebles, doubles and the small doesn't count. You've got to hit that large area. Okay. So what we're doing straight away, this is a warm-up game. Yep, so look at it in the football terminology. It's a warm-up game. So I've got a structure here. This is my warm-up. So practice number 2 in that one is Switchblade. So for those who might not know Switchblade, it's a game from GoDartsPro.com. I think AIM Darts Coaching originally came up with it from Darts World. But Switchblade's brilliant. So your first visit, you throw treble 20, well, you throw at the 20s, but you're looking for treble 20, treble 20, treble 20. Your next 3 darts, it's 2020, 19, then 2020, 18, 2020, 17, 2020, bull. And you add up what score you get. So now we're starting to build a bit of consistency. So we've had the target warm-up game. Now we're looking again for consistency. But we're creating structure. So game number 3 is cricket scoring. So we just take the cricket numbers. Again, now we're starting to utilise the board. We're starting to use board management here. Okay, practice number 4 is a good game of checkout golf. For those who don't know checkout golf, you are given a finish, and within that finish is a number of darts you've got to finish it in. So for instance here, I've got finish 80 within 4 darts. So we're now starting to work on checkouts. We've got combination checkouts in there. So we've got like 95, 125, 87. We've got the 1 dart finishes as well for the hole-in-ones. So 40, 10. 36. So again, we've gone from throwing the darts, in a warm-up, going for the targets, working then on consistency, to then going into sort of working on the checkouts. Then in this one as well, practice number 5, is 201 versus. Okay, so you're playing a best of 11 game, first to 6, versus yourself. So the twist is you only have 9 darts to finish 201. If you finish 201 in 9 darts, you get the leg. If you don't, you award your leg to your opponent. So 201 in 9 can seem quite daunting. But bearing in mind the work we've done in the previous 4 practices in this practice schedule, we're now getting ready to actually go into these sort of games. Practice number 6 in this one is the checkout range game. So we start at checkout 70, and then we're looking to get up to 80. But if we get down to 60, we lose the game. So again, we're just finishing that session off again now with some commonly seen checkouts. 60 to 80 range is commonly seen. All right, and then at the end, we've got like a little cool down where you can just go around the world on the singles. Big structure of practice there. And that is what I mean when I say what makes a good darts practice session. That is what makes it structure. Complete and utter structure within my darts practice. So if you're after something like that, some good structure in your darts practice, visit the website, swrdartscoaching.co.uk. Click on the practice tab, okay, and you'll be able to get them from there. All right. There is a little fee. You can pay via PayPal, or I think it's like a payment side. But just click this schedules tab, not the practice tab. Sorry, the schedules tab, and you'll see them all there. And you can download all 5 for one price. Really good, really good. So, next one topic I want to touch on is an interesting one. And it's one of the most common things I see asked on Facebook and currently on people's TikTok lives. And I had this on one of my TikTok lives the other week. What is a good starting dart? Now, I'm sorry, there is no answer to this question. I see that many people. I throw with this dart, this is a great dart to start with. I throw with Luke Littler darts, so try get a set of them. You don't really want to pay too much money for a set of darts, just buy a cheap set and see how you feel with them. All fair answers. But the actual answer that person's looking for doesn't exist. So, what are a good starting set of darts? Well, it depends on you as the player. It depends how you hold the dart. It depends on your feel of your fingertips, your grip. It depends on the weight of dart you throw, the style of dart that you want to throw. Do you want to throw a fat bomb dart into the board? Do you want to throw a thin pencil style dart? All these things are for you to decide and find out through your game. When people come down here for coaching, I always ask, how did you find your dart? How did you come across your dart? We've got different darts for people to use, different weights, different sizes, different setups. Because you might have gone and got that dart and you might be throwing with it, but if we change it or we tweak it, you might see a better result from it, because the weight of the dart, the trajectory of the dart, the way the dart lands in the board might not be right. I saw a guy on TikTok a few weeks ago saying that your dart has to land upwards. So as it hits the board, it has to be sticking up in the air because it gives you more room to put other darts in. No. All that means is the dart has gone from your hand up into the air, it's arced, and it's falling out the arc as it's coming into the board. You want a flatter dart. You want that dart as it's left your hand and it's arcing before it starts to dip or the weight takes over from the flight. Hit the board at that point. So, is there a good starting dart out there? I personally don't think there is. I've had people come to me and say, what would you recommend? Look, if you want to go that route, start around 22 to 24. Start with a thin barreled dart. See how that feels. It's like a Bic pen. Okay? So, for those who probably don't know, Bic is one of the most popular makes of pens. So most people will have used a Bic pen in their lifetime. Does that feel right for you to hold? Yes, it probably will. So a Bic pen is the width of a Bic pen will be possibly the width of some of the standard darts that are out there. So you'll get a good feel to start with. After that, then it's all about you and your creation of that dart. So, are you a K-Flex user? Do you use short, intermediates? What are you using? Are you old school? Nylon stems. What type of flights do you want to use? Do you want to use the kite flights? Do you want to use the thin flights like Phil Taylor used to use? That's them. You've got to find that out. You've got to make that investment into them products to find out. Flights and stems are cheap. Darts aren't so cheap. DartsInABottle is a website that I would highly recommend as well to people, because DartsInABottle allow you to sign up to their subscription service. And this isn't me being paid by them, by the way, to say this. Just want to point that out before people go into the comments. But you can sign up to their website, and within their website you can hire or loan, I suppose is probably a more effective phrase, a set of darts from them. Okay, so you can, rent is the word I'm after, you can rent a set of darts off them. That way you can see how that dart feels. So you might end up going out and getting a set of 24 gram unicorn Winmau darts, whatever brand you want to get. Size of a Bic pen, the width of a Bic pen. Yeah, these feel too thin in my hand. So within a website like that, you can then look at what structure, that's not the right word, what size of darts you want to look at, different size. The weight might be okay, but let me tell you now, a 22 gram thin barrel dart compared to a 22 gram bomb style dart will be different. It will be different. So it's not a question that can be answered. Your best bet, in all honesty, is if you've got a local dart shop to you, pop along. So if you can get along to the St. Helens Dart Shop, Pompey Darts, the Dart Shack in Loughborough, if you can get to any of them, get along to them places and try some sets of darts. That is the best way. These guys will notice the arc of the dart. They'll be able to help you with that. Excuse me. But sometimes an impulse buy of darts can work as well. I remember my first ever set of darts were a set of John Lowe darts that I brought. They were thick, they were a bomb style. Would I use them today? No, not at all. The second set of darts I brought was a set of Adrian Gray stone grips. And the reason I brought them was because I wanted something that was thinner to use. Now, I've said on here before for many a year, I used Phil Taylor Phase 5s for a long, long time. That was because they felt comfortable in my hand. But now I've gone back to a thin barrel. But that's just because of the way my fingers have gone over the years. So it is trial and error. You are going to use different sets of darts while you're starting out. But don't keep switching. Try and stick with a set for a while. If after a month you really don't feel them darts are for you, you might know it after 2 throws. Then start looking at other sets of darts. But don't buy a set of darts, have one session with them and go, no, I want to try something else. Because them darts might be right for you. You might just not be throwing them right. Okay? So, again, how can you get around that? Coaching. I will promote myself. I'll promote Brian. I'll promote the other coaches. Get to a qualified accredited coach. Get to us with your darts. We'll be able to tell you if them darts are going to be good for you or not. Just by watching you throw, we'll be able to tell straight away. And we might be able to offer tweaks and guidance. That's what we're here for. So, they are the 2 things that I want to get out of this podcast today, is that there is no such thing as a starting set of darts, okay, in my opinion. But you need to go out there and start with a set. You've got to start with a set. Okay, so holding a big pen. Does holding a big pen feel comfortable to you? Yes, it does. So there again, thin barrel dart might be right. Okay? Some, like the old fountain pens, which are quite thicker than a big pen. Do you prefer holding that type of pen? Yeah, I do. Then you want a thicker barrel. Then after that, we can work on everything else. Short stems, long stems, different flight design. Okay? But weight-wise, I've always said 22 to 24. Look around that. Youngsters, again, they could be for anything. I've seen kids throwing 18 gram. I've seen kids throwing 28 gram. So it's a broad spectrum, that is. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to this podcast. What makes a good darts practice is good structure. Structure within what you're doing, within a time scale as well. Is there such a thing as a starting set of darts? Not in my opinion. It's got to be something that's comfortable with you. It's got to be something that's right with you. Get out to your local dart shops if you've got one. Get on DartsInABottle. Check them out. Have a look at what you can rent off them. See the difference in sets of darts. Luckily, some places will allow you to return darts. You can buy them from them, try them and send them back. Okay, but I don't encourage that. Because that just creates, problems in the environment, doesn't it, with everything. But get the right set of darts. Sorry, not the right set of darts. Get a set of darts that you feel comfortable with. Okay. Thank you for listening to episode 11. I'm hopefully going to have a guest on for episode 12. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to speak to people, or the coaches, people within the industry. Let me know. I will see what I can do. If you're after darts coaching with me, visit the website swrdartscoaching.co.uk. Book a session with me. Okay, I am going to record a coaching session at some point and use that as a podcast episode. So that could be interesting. It might give you an insight into how I coach as well, and what you're going to get from a coaching session if you're unsure. I'm sorry for the croakiness. I'm still not 100% better, but I'm getting there now. I'm getting there. Thank you again for listening. Please share this with all your darting contacts. Follow me across social media. Just search for SWR Darts Coaching and you'll find me. And if I can help your game, I'm here to help. Take care, folks, and I'll speak to you on the next one.